What up, though? It's your girl Royda, aka Philimena, coming at you again for another edition of Real Talk with Philimena. As you can see, I'm repping from a city today. Detroit with a little bit of Liberian flair is our shells. Accessories. I had to do this sooner than later because I've been getting a lot of questions over the weekend with my first episode on my experience with moving from the States to Liberia. I promised a few young ladies that I would do this in-depth report, interview style, to give you guys some insight on what I think it takes to get your butts from there to here. Of course, I'm joined by my favorite, my wine in my Liberian girl glass. So let's get this thing started. So the first thing is making the decision to just do it. I grappled with the decision to move for maybe almost 4 years. Like, I would want to come back. Every time I would come and visit, I would always extend my trip. Like, I would be coming for like 2 weeks. The next thing you know, I'm here for a month. Next thing you know, I'm here for a month and a half. My friends in the States are like, "Are you coming back?" I'm like, "Am I coming back?" Like, I don't really want to come back. And it took me a long time to finally make the plunge and just say, let's just do it. So first things first is really decide if you really want to do this and commit to it. You cannot get your life going over there, over here, if that makes any sense. You have to be here, you have to be on ground, you have to really put effort and make a sacrifice to be here in order to make it work. So the first thing I'm gonna say is save your coins. It is not cheap. It is not cheap to move anywhere, but it is not cheap at all to move across an ocean. Shipping your things. I took the liberty of selling all of my big items or giving them away and just brought personal effects. And when it comes to shipping, you need to check and do a little research in your area for different shipping companies. Some people opt to do an entire 20 or 40 foot container. Of course, that is gonna be the most expensive option depending on what you're moving. If you're moving your whole house, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit pricey and it's gonna take some time. The other option that I found was there are companies that do barrels, and a barrel the best way to describe it is think of a wardrobe box when you're moving. You can pack up wardrobe boxes and add it onto an already packed and ready shipped container amongst other people's things. And it gets to Liberia and you have to go and clear your stuff, but it is not as financially tasking as taking an entire container. So research, save your coins because it's gonna be expensive either way. Electronics. The US uses 110 voltage, Liberia uses 220 voltage. I don't know how many times I was told this. My stepdad had an entire conversation with me about this. And I just, like, oh, okay, that's cool. Didn't think anything of it. Let me name the things that I have blown up recently. I have blown up a DVD, Blu-ray disc player. I have blown up a rice cooker. I blew up this ring light that I'm using. I had to get that fixed. Word to the wise, when it comes to electronics, even if you're gonna order it from the States to be shipped, look for 220 voltage. It's very, very important. Now you can bring your 110 appliances and electronics, but you will need to purchase converters and stabilizers here that kind of convert the 220 energy to 110 so it doesn't blow up all your electronics. Next major thing that I will talk about is your living situation. I've done an episode beforehand to show you the different living options. I got a lot of backlash for that episode. You know, people were saying that's too expensive. How dare Liberia? And honestly, that is the reality of the situation. I know everybody thinks because it's a third world country and it's just Liberia, it's supposed to be dirt cheap. That's absolutely the opposite. For apartments that people are used to in the Western world, you are looking anywhere from 1 to 4K a month, and that's USD. USD, not LRD, USD. I know some of you might scream and say it's not fair, but that's what the reality is. You want running water, you want 24-hour electricity, you want to have security, that's what you're going to have to pay. Another thing I'll say is just be prepared, you know. It's going to be a culture shock. It's going to be a bit of an adjustment. I know people come and visit. Visiting is different than living. I always say everything that's simple in Liberia can be made difficult. Driving, that's a whole nother arena. In the US, you go to driving school, you get your license, you have to take a test. Anyone drives here. All the laws that I learned in driver's ed, I have literally thrown out of the window. So one of the biggest things that I think is hilarious that you're gonna have to expect is the constant, oh, you're American, oh, you speak series. I am a chronic series speaker. Series is like, and I even say series like an American. When you hear Liberian people say it, they say, "Ah, when she speaks series." Series. It's the American dialect, the American accent. And you know, I always get you're in Liberia now. You need to learn how to speak Colloqua. And honestly, yeah, I try to break out my Liberian accent from time to time. Usually when I'm mad, when I'm angry. So I hope you got a little insight on my experience moving from the US to Liberia. Thanks again for watching. Like I said, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to email me, message me, drop a line in my comments. And I look forward to seeing you guys the next time. Thanks for joining me on Real Talk with Philimena.